All right, we're live. Let me just do my little sound check as everybody kind of dribbles their way on in here. I see that we already have quite a few people waiting. Let me just make sure. All right, cool. Yeah, everything works. All right, so we're talking Truck Series at Martinsville. I'm going to be here for about 40 minutes. Bobby goes live at the top of the hour to talk MLB and the NBA slate today. So if you guys are playing any of that, and you can just stick around, it'll be on a different live stream, but it'll be on this channel. So he takes over in 45 minutes. So that's why I'm going early a bit, or going live a bit earlier. We're 2 hours and 50 minutes away from the slate. Practice for the Xfinity Series is currently going on. And let me just go ahead and share this stuff so we can start talking. Give me a second. All right. So when we're looking at this race here, and we do not have Blake in the player pool, although he is. I do still calculate these guys in terms of where they're at. When we're building here, and feel free to drop any questions or comments you guys have in the chat. I want to have a good old Friday evening. I know some of you guys are at work or some of you guys are viewing this later, but I still want to just have fun and enjoy. Also, real fast, like, I don't know what else to say, man. Yeah, what's going on, Kay? Happy to have you here. I'm just killing time for people to join and stuff. I don't know what else to say, man. Like these idiot teams and these idiot drivers who are teaming up with these YouTubers and channels and influencers, like these annoying guys. They are just slow. They're pathetic. They're just a disaster, man. Like, you guys know who I'm talking about. Like, this loser is just so bad. Like, I don't even know why he's even like here. Like, he's annoying on Twitter. He's annoying, just like we just see him everywhere. Like, what is with Thad Moffitt and this faction team? Like, get out of here. This guy is so horrible. You guys thought I was talking about Steven. Nah, man. There's other idiot drivers out there that like, dude, this faction team is like the biggest jokers ever, man. Like, that is so bad. It is hysterical of how bad this team is, man. I just this whole break, that it's ridiculous how bad that is, man. All right, so when we're looking at this race here, we're clearly entering this race. What's going on, when we're looking at this race here, and we'll talk about, good old Onion Boy later. When we're looking at this race here, like, clearly your three favorites to win the race are these three individuals here. The rest of the guys who would round that off, or like, who would actually win or compete to win, would most likely be these fellas, all these guys that I'm probably highlighting here. You can start arguing like Tanner and Raj and Infinger and William and stuff, but like, this is the main group. This is the main focus. I think it's going to be very difficult for a lot of people to get around Ty Majeski, Christian Eckes, even Corey Heim. I think those guys are the best cars entering this week. That's kind of where we were at. I'm sorry that I didn't do a preview truck video, but I don't know. It's just not the same with like 33, 34 cars. Like, it's the same guys. And it's the same. If you look in these races, even more so than the Cup Series and Xfinity, it's the same people finishing up front in every single race. Like, the top 15 is the exact same, from road courses to 1.5s to short tracks. Like, it is the same people competing week in and week out, which I guess it makes it more fun, because then, like, we're kind of playing the same guys. We kind of root for the same people and stuff. Two things. So I just want to at least argue the first group that they had was, or the groups rather, the practice groups today. Let me make sure I'm still pulling. Yeah. The two practice groups that we had today were separated by the NASCAR metric that they use for, setting the grid in instance of rainout and stuff. So group one, or practice one, group A, had everybody who, like, the second half of the field in terms of speed. And so when we're looking at group number 2, which is a lot of the good people in this race line, the good guys are going to be run up front, I lean towards, all right, cool, man. Truly, we could trust a lot of this track. We could trust a lot of the practice laps, especially when it's between Corey Heim, Christian Eckes, and Ty Majeski, which they just happen to be the three fastest guys in this, because we are looking directly, or we are competing or comparing those laps directly with people. Now, I wanted to do this aspect live because I didn't want to enter this taking away laps, entering or whatever. So at least for me, for the visual representation of this live show, I'm going to go ahead and remove these first laps from a lot of people. So I'm going to remove Steven's first lap, I'm going to remove Boyd's first lap. I'm going to remove Enfingers. I'm going to remove these guys' laps so we can kind of get a better feel of where these laps are, because those are the slowest laps that we had on speed, which was just the first time these guys crossed the line. It was slow. Like we can go ahead and remove those, but I want to do that live to show everybody that, like, oh man, when I truly start shitting on Steven, I'm not just calling out his 84 at the line. That was his first lap, and stuff like that, getting up to speed. And realistically, I'm actually going to remove everybody's first lap, actually, because I think that'll give a much better, remove Nick's, actually, just see something real fast here. I'm actually just going to remove the first ones, actually. I'm not going to go to the second ones. Yeah, we're going to do that. Okay, so anyway, as we move along and we look at these laps, specifically when we're looking at Corey Heim, Christian Eckes, and Ty Majeski, the one thing that stands out to me now, when we look at this race in terms of, are we going to go green a long time, we're not going to go green a long time, a big majority of this race is going to be short run speed. We might have one 25, 30 lap run, but for the most part, I'm not too concerned about the fall off that individuals are showing in the long run. Now, the main issue that we have to deal with are the heat cycles of the tires, because you really can't find any practice data to find that. Like true fall off will kind of answer that. But basically, what we're going to see, at least in my opinion, are going to be a lot of short runs. You go green 7, 10, 15, 16 laps, we go to yellow. 7, 10, 21 laps, we go to yellow. 7, 10, end of stage. 7, 10, 15, another yellow. And so, a long run speed isn't necessarily the greatest thing in the world for me, or not the greatest thing, but not the main thing we're focusing on like other races, just because I think it's going to be a lot of short runs, which helps a lot of people if you have early fire off speed. Now, yet again, these tires are going to be dealing with a lot of heat cycles and stuff, so this might not be the best representation. But when we're looking at where these people are deep in a run and then looking at where their fall off is, we're clearly seeing that like Ty Majeski and Corey Heim have pretty phenomenal cars. I mean, Majeski is really, really fast. I mean, this is very, very impressive. Basically, outside of really traffic-wise, like, yet again, we moved his first lap because that's, coming up to speed, whatever. I would assume in traffic, because this is the only 91 we see from him, and then everything else is at a 93. Like, that's impressive. 93, 94, very consistent. Like, this is practically no fall off. Fall off is practically non-existent just from this. Now, yet again, this was practice during the day, the race in colder temperatures in the nighttime, but that's still very impressive. Like you can't, it doesn't matter if it's short track or not. Like when you're seeing practically identical lap times over and over and over and over again, that's like, you got to respect that. Corey Heim would be the next person who is falling off very little between these individuals here. And like Ty Majeski, Corey Heim are the favorites, and I cannot see this. My camera's in the way. But Ty Majeski, Corey Heim, in my opinion, are the two favorites to lead this race. Two favorites that you want to build around, and you could very easily build one or the other. I'm going to primarily build, probably going to do 8 to 10 lines. I'll probably do 4 or so with them together, and then the other 6, which would just be 3 each, with them solo. So with just Corey Heim and or just Ty Majeski carrying that lineup. And that's like, I really don't see a reason to chase another lap leader here. Like you could argue Christian Eckes. I think he's going to be in the top 5 all day. And we have seen Eckes, like his fire off speed, yet again, this is the other aspect of that. Like pretty good early short run speed is really good to see, especially if Eckes can very easily repeat that. Yet again, we're going short run, so I frankly don't give a shit what the car is doing late in the run. And this could be in traffic, it could not be. When we're looking at his fire-off speed, clearly much faster than everybody else. We're seeing that Eckes has a real chance, especially if, which is very, very difficult to start on the outside, unless Majeski takes the outside on the restart. Like Eckes will be trapped on the outside lane early in these runs. It'll be his responsibility to get down into the inside lane, try and get by people, but like his speed is there. Like you got to respect the speed as well, especially on the short run. Like clearly, we're seeing fall off and stuff. But if this race stays a lot of short runs, stays a lot of let's just be good, early, and let's not really worry about long run speed. Like Christian Eck is going to be there. So yet again, going back to this, your 3 favorite guys to lead this race. And it's not because of practice. I know we didn't talk about it a lot because I didn't do a video, but like these guys, like Majeski at the short track, like that's not surprising. Eckes, Corey Heim, like those are your pretty much top 3 fastest guys across the board. Nicholas Sanchez, anywhere from 4th to 6th, week in and week out. We have Tyler Ankrum, the rest of the Tricon guys, like the Gray brothers, like it's the same guys week in and week out. Like these are not surprising guys. These are people that we liked entering this week, and that's why they are the most expensive drivers. Past that, we need to let me go ahead and what's going on, Bub? Logan, what's going on, Logan? Won't be playing Majeski for a while. Guy is a bum. Dude can have an illegal car and still fumble the race away. Seriously, fuck that guy. Which I'm very happy to see. I don't recognize your name, Logan, so I assume you're new-ish. I like that passion. I like to see that. Stand your ground. That's what Dale Earnhardt would say. Can't even compare him to Majeski or Corey Heim. Okay, well that's can't really argue that. But I like to see that opinion. I like to see where that's at. I like to see where you're at. And everything. I don't know. I just like the chat to actually be saying something. So I take that. Comparing Ty Majeski and Corey Heim, I think that's the only way you can go about it, as he's starting first. Like those are the 3 favorites. Anyway, that's not the important part on this slide. The important part is what we're doing with the rest of the field. Now, it just by happenstance, the 8K range is the 8 and mid range, or the 8K and 7K range is the value range and the building blocks for this event. When we look at the people who are pretty much going to hit value in most situations, and I'm going to kind of lean more towards a 4.9 to a 5.1 here. Anything more than that is certainly good. But Taylor Gray, Sammy Smith, Stuart Friesen, Bailey Curry, Raja Caruth, Caden, Ty Dillon, Tanner Gray, William Sawalich, Matt Crafton, Matt Mills, and Timmy Hill I have all projected to hit right near value. Okay. Which really outside of that, so that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 guys. Okay. 12 guys and Jack Wood. Jack Wood is close to hitting value as well, depending on where he finishes. So we have 13 guys project hit value. We have your 3 guys who you could argue who are going to lead laps. You throw Nicholas in there if he gets the lead, if he's able to get the lead on pit lane, which I don't foresee happening, but you can throw him in there. And so between those 13 guys, and then you add the 4 projected lap leaders, or arguing like truly 3 lap leaders, like Majeski, Eckes, and Heim, throw Sanchez in there, we're right at 18 drivers. That's typically what the pool is, and that's the pool we got to play with. When we're looking at the back half of the field, when you look at Dye, I got Dye for 27 points. That's 4.6 value. I got guys in his value range that I have projected outscore him and do better than him. Not playing Lawless Allen, not playing Brett Holmes, because we have like projected for 20, 21, 18, 20, so on and so forth. We're not playing, or we don't project to play these individuals here. Let me make sure we're not playing Cam because he's 75. Not doing Chase Purdy. Where we at? Where we at Chase? So we remove these fellas, okay? And I don't really see a reason now outside of if you truly want to punt, which I don't really think so, because we don't have to pay up for a lot of place differential play or a lot of place differential plays here in this race. So I don't think you need a reason to go into this 5K range, because if you were, the people you'd end up playing would be like Spencer Boyd or Steven. I don't think you need to do that. I know Thad Moffitt was on fire, but starting 33rd, basically if you need to go min salary, that's close you're going to get to a play that can actually work and be viable at 5,200. And I don't think you need to get there. And so when I'm looking at my lineups, I am not getting in the 5K range at all today. I am not seeing a reason to get there, and I am personally not going to build in the 5K range today, because especially especially if you're paying for two of these. If you're paying for one, it's even easier, especially like Logan. I know you're not a Ty Majeski fan, so I know you're not playing Ty Majeski, right? So you'll go Corey Heim or Eckes or just one of those individual drivers, etc. And then you can just slam the 8K range and play guys who are actually going to be fighting for a top 15, man. Or be in the 8K range or be in the 6K range. And so like this is truly where I'm at. And we can make arguments for Lane Riggs, but I'm probably going to go ahead and remove these fellas here. Leave Anchorman there. This is the pool. I think this is the true pool with Thad Moffitt, but he won't be on the screen. This is it. This is the pool you build with. I don't see how the optimal lineup isn't contained in this group of drivers, outside of huge wrecks and outside of situations where those 5K guys who are already starting in the high 20s, like those guys need to move in to, the 18, 19, 17 position. It's different when we have a 36 car field because these bad guys can get there by finishing like 24th, 25th. You pass 10 guys, you're in the 5K range, you're going to be scoring over 25 points. You'll be hitting value. You can make arguments for them to work. You don't need that tonight. Like this is where you're at. This is where the GPP and not even GPP, all the lines are going to be made and broken of who works between 12th and 21st. That's mainly it. I don't know. I think this is a pretty fun slate. I think it's very viable, and I think you can make a lot of lineups that aren't stupid. I don't think you need to play stupid drivers and stuff. Is it feasible to play all three up with a couple points? I don't think you need to, Michael, because this race is 200 laps. We're going to probably run a third of this race under yellow, so let's get our handy dandy calculator. We're going to let the calculator do the calculating, and that is about 66 laps of this event if it stays under yellow. And so we're losing about 67 fast laps available. So we're working with, right at like 135 laps potentially under green. If we lose more, then we're losing more fast laps available. And the laps leader is going to be whoever's in first, which I don't think that's going to be traded a ton on under green flag conditions. And I don't think it's going to be traded much in pit road because the leaders are going to visit pit road very few times in this race. So I don't think paying up for three drivers is really going to work. The only way that I would see that working is if it's two guys up here and you're paying up for Grant Enfinger. But still, I don't think you need to do that. I think you have much better lineup construction if you're just paying up for two 10K guys and or one 10K guy. Like this is a race where I'm much more open to just paying up for one 10K guy and everybody else being place differential in this range of the guys that aren't blacked out here. That's my this is Martinsville. It's gonna be bumping and rubbing. Shit, maybe a chunk of the truck will bust a radiator. Yeah, possibly. Who knows? Yeah, dude. Also, who's here? Who's here? I want to roll call. We got 41 guys here. I am seeing new names in chat. Are you guys from Pierce's tweet? If you are, please let me know. I'm very curious on where some of these newer names are coming from. We're an hour and 56 minutes away from the race. Xfinity practice still going on, or I'm still pulling that, so that's working fine. I think this is going to be a pretty fun race, man, and a pretty fun slate to build for. I really like slates like this to where like we can build lines. We won't finish stuff, but like things like this make a lot of sense. A build that's like Corey Heim, Ty Majeski, Tanner Gray, Stuart Friesen, like that's pretty good, man. And then like you got plenty of money to finish with like actual competent people. Like that's going to be the types of lineups that I'm going to be playing tonight. That's I don't know. And when we look at the huge discrepancy in speed, I mean, it's pretty significant, man. Not even talking about qualifying speed, because if you're looking at qualifying speed alone, which I have gotten so many, like I have so many messages from people today because we're all just shitting on Steven, right? I'm just being filled with this. Like, look at this time, and he sucks. This isn't representative of the entire thing, but bro, we're a second slower in Q. Back half of the field has a real chance of getting lapped in this race. And the slow cars have a real chance of getting lapped in this race, especially with how fast these actual leaders will be going through the field. And there's a real case to be made that the back half of the field is so slow. Any wrecks that happen in this race have a chance of just happening inside like the top from like 7 to 13. I mean, I'm not saying we're not going to have them wrecking the back of the field, but it's probably going to be guys actually battling for speed up top, or we might just go green. So, and trap more of these guys lap down. So that's kind of where I'm at. It's kind of where I'm feeling like going. And Logan, who gives a shit about eating your word, man? Who gives a fuck, dude? It is DFS. Who cares, man? You don't have to do anything. If you lose money, who gives a shit, man? Like, who cares? Who cares, dude? Who do you like in the 6K range? So I guess just like building wise and stuff, I like Matt Mills. I think he's a fantastic play in the 6K range today. That's probably my favorite play. If you want to truly debate and go head to head and everything like that between like who I actually like and stuff, you can just use my projections. Join description below and just get access to everything, because that's very much of like, who do I like? Like, I like Matt Mills. There might be other guys in 6K range I projected for higher, but I think Matt Mills is a pretty good play in the 6K range. This is a bit early. Chandler Smith crash. Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, I watch that stuff later. Even at this point, like, so this is another reason why. And maybe it is because I'm doing more stuff now for TrueDFS, outside of just NASCAR videos and stuff. But like, when I look at DFS and line construction and building, like, dude, projections are all that matter at the end of the day. Like, why do I fucking not even waste, like if I do my research, I spend like an hour and a half, 2 hours doing research and stuff. And I used to do more videos of like basically just repeating all that research to everybody. Now it's like, I just do that. And like, if it comes into play, I'll mention it. If it doesn't, like, Chandler Smith spin out and wreck it in practice, I guess, like, that just changes the slate, because then you have to play Chandler Smith, and then we're playing with 5 people. Like, he's de facto, I don't even know what his price is, but like, he's going to be the best like point per dollar play in whatever that range, unless he's like, 9,800 or whatever. So I don't know, like, I like the live shows more. I like the discussion stuff, discussing things in terms of projections a lot more than others. Like early, like look ahead videos or like salary and stuff. Because like salary doesn't matter until we get projections. Like I said, I have all these people who can really realistically argue to be hitting value today. So does that matter going into the week? Does it matter? I don't think it matters. So we get the grid and stuff. Where are we at? Trust numbers, not your heart. I assume you're talking to Logan. I mean, look, and also with like Jack, which we got a ton of new people in the chat. Like I said, I'm very curious where you guys came from, but we have all won a lot of money doing this. We've all lost a lot of money doing this. It's I would advise everybody to just remove the names, remove any biases you have towards people, and just keep playing stuff each week. Best value under 7K. Let me go ahead and take a gander of who I have. If I can figure out where the pricing is on these individuals. I'm going to do this on my end here. Let me go ahead and see who I have as the best value. Which, yet again, if you have my projections, you can just see that. Or if you want to join us, let me see. And I'll sell more in a second. I just want to answer this question. Under 7K, it is. I do indeed have William as the best value under 7K range, and really under 7K, which yet again, this is where it comes into play. I mean, this is basically saying the same thing there, but under 7K hitting value, hitting near value. I only have 1, 2, 3, 4 drivers under 7K projected hit value today. So as I said, the 5K range is pretty much not playable. today. That's where I'm at. If you guys want to support me, support all the hard work we do here at TrueDFS, you can join at the link in the description below. You can either get a NASCAR package, which is just my stuff. You still get access to the Discord through that, or you can get all our stuff, or you can get us and SaberSim. Basically, get us and SaberSim for the same price that you would just get SaberSim for if you bought it through SaberSim. So if you're curious in SaberSim, you've never used it before, we're partnered with them, so you can just get SaberSim at a discount through us if you are very much interested in SaberSim and using their contest sims and optimizer and everything that they have to offer. Go ahead and look at the chat again. What? Okay, like Mark, what's with this punt or pass, Sammy Smith? What is even that? That is the wrong technology. Punt or pass? He's not a punt because he's $9,300. Like it's not pass or play. It's like I'm not in love with Sammy Smith. Okay, don't get me wrong. I'm gonna play Sammy Smith today. Probably like 2 of my lives. Yet again, I'm gonna play like 8 to 10, saving all my stuff for Texas and Dover and all that shit coming up. And we got Talladega. We got stacked the back of Talladega and lose another fucking $500 coming up. But with like Sammy Smith, like I think he's certainly worth, 10, 15% of your ownership, possibly 20, depending on how many lineups you're doing. I think you should totally do that. I think past that, it doesn't matter what my opinion is on him. That's really my opinion there. Just looking for some truck series before lock. The mid-range and value breakdown. Studs are obvious. What is this, man? Who are these people coming in here? What is this? What is this? You guys are, this is wild. This is a wicked wild Friday in the chat, man. We got like some fucking smooth brains over here. I think that's fairly it. I mean, I don't have any other questions that are actually like worth my time answering. I mean, I practically said how I'm building. Like I said, if you have my projections, you already know where I'm leaning. But this is the main pool that I'm going to use today. If you have to go in the 5K range, I might as well, because I'm assuming that you need salary in that range. You can play Steven for the memes, or you can play Thad if you need the salary and pray he doesn't catch on fire going down the straightaway again. But that's how it is. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate it. I think that's mainly it, man. That's kind of where we're at. I will let you guys go ahead and enjoy the rest of your Friday. Get ready for your MLB, NBA, whatever the heck you guys are doing tonight. Dude, MLB is there's too many games, man. Too many games, too many teams, too much stuff going on. I'm already sick and tired of MLB playing from like sun up to sundown. Like that's baseball. This is way too much, man. Way too much. Why is this even a sport? Thank God we got the pitch clock, so it's like way faster. Yeah, I think that's mainly it. I got no other questions. Thoughts on Tanner Gray? Thank you, BG3. I love Tanner Gray. Absolutely mispriced at $7,300. Same thing with Taylor and Tanner Gray. Both cars, speed, equipment alone, week in, week out, these guys are competing for top 10 positions. We're at Martinsville. 7,300. 7,800 for both these guys individually. When we look at the track, we'll look at the two Gray brothers specifically here. Look at where we're at. Now this is averages based on the. I'm gonna go ahead and move down here so we have Taylor. Now this is averages through all the laps and stuff. But notice, yeah, we're not as fast as Ty Majeski. But we are not falling. This is clearly in traffic because this 90 is coming out of nowhere. But as we're looking through these lines or these laps, not a lot of fall off. Now, I understand the 92 might be a bit concerning because we're seeing like not a lot of fields running 92, but like Sammy Smith, Jack Wood, these guys are running 92s late in their run. We see Caden, who's kind of overvalued here on averages because he ran not a lot of laps and stuff. But we're looking at other cars here, and certainly nothing to really hate on. Taylor Gray on. Same thing with Tanner Gray. Pretty decent speed, man. So we see this right off the bat. I see nothing concerning here because we can see this week in and out from these two individuals here. But when we look at Tricon and how they perform in races fully, like throughout races, same thing. So like another reason that I don't do the preview videos for the truck and Xfinity, kind of like I do with the Cup Series, where I have how I rank everybody, is because these races have so many yellows and stuff. Like, one, driver rating is pretty unreliable. Like, we're gonna kind of talk about driver rating real fast. Let's kind of kill some time as we're still here. We'll get back to the Tanner Gray and stuff here. I'm going to answer this. This is a question nobody asked, but I have been answering this more and more recently. Let's get that off the screen. So when we're looking at driver rating, because people like to look at driver rating and stuff. So this is NASCAR's attempt to, imitate what football has with QB rating and stuff. And when we look at what is going into driver rating, okay, there are a lot of statistics that I like in it, and then there are a lot of statistics that I don't like in it. Okay, and so I'm answering two things here. It seems like a ramble, but I promise you it's not. The way that I calculate whenever I show like the Cup Series stuff, for example, of how I rank people is typically what they're doing in the race, the running position, not running position, but the percentage of laps around the top 5, the top 10, top 15, how their pit crew is doing, and basically it's my own version of driver rating and stuff. And for the trucks specifically, with how stupid these races get and how many yellows they get, the data points that I can actually use for those data points, I have to go in to the lap by lap stuff, and I go in and find the runs that I specifically want to use for like Vegas and stuff that went green. It was relatively easier, but like for a lot of these rec-filled truck races and stuff, you have to go through and look at the longest run that they had and evaluate how each individual driver did on that, whether they were on new tires, old tires. Like, there's a lot more going into it. So I don't just put that on the screen because I don't think it's going to really help a lot of people. Anyway, getting back to driver rating really fast. A lot of the statistics that I like here, like they're using finish, which is good, average ring position, which is good, average speed, fastest lap, that's fine. But when we start diving into the positions that are calculated and what driver rating uses, and when you look at driver rating in the definition that is given on different websites, they all kind of change a little bit specifically. But the major thing that I don't like about driver rating is that this is average running position while they are on the lead lap and under the green flag. And so when you're looking at driver rating in the back half of the field, specifically where we give a shit about for DFS, okay, you're looking at the mid-tier guys where these stupid ass punts are, where those guys kind of fall in line. Well, NASCAR driver rating does not calculate that when they're a lap down. Okay, so like if somebody's trapped a lap down, that's, at least from this definition, that's not being thrown into it. That's not being weighted correctly. So like Kyle Busch, for example, at Phoenix, when he went a lap down this year, he's a lap down. That's not being calculated as driver rating. He's there. When we're looking at the fastest laps, the average of the 3 fastest laps by that driver could be literally just taken from early runs on these guys. Okay, so like even in the statistics that I like that driver rating uses, there's still a lot of asterisks around why we can't use that and why we can use it. Another thing is that I really don't like about driver rating is that it overvalues the top half of the guys, or the upfront runners. Yet again, for DFS, we want to know where people are performing in the mid tier and the bottom tier. How are the pump plays? What do we got to do research on these pump plays? How are these guys doing? What's fucking Thad Moffitt doing, running fucking 28th each week? Well, driver rating from NASCAR weighs the win, top 15 finish, most laps led, lead lap finish, and then they overweight. Yet again, they're weighting more of the guys finishing up front, better than 10th, 6th, and 2nd. Doesn't do a thing. I'm sorry, NASCAR. You do realize that you have more than 10 guys in the race. So when you're looking at driver rating and stuff, you're seeing that it's overvaluing the guys that are up front or that finish up front. That's why we see such a big discrepancy in that. And then when you look at the mid tier or the mid pack in the back of the field, there's just like no separation between these guys at all, especially if they were trapped lap down, like God forbid, then like NASCAR's driver rating is just fucking useless in that regard and stuff. So like I went on that rant to come back to the Gray brothers and these guys' situation. Not that they're related to driver rating, but Tanner Gray, Taylor Gray, equipment wise, team wise, both cars that are competing to be top 10 cars week in and week out, they're underpriced. The fact that they are both starting in the teens, yet again, Taylor Gray's 12th, Tanner Gray's 19th, 78, 73. Regardless of how you're building, you're paying up for 2 10K guys, paying up for one. Doesn't matter. Very easy to get to 7, or very easy to get to both of these guys in the 7K range. Long way to get there. Heard another podcast that Justin Carroll won a procedure. Yeah, man, like, dude, Pierce is a fucking lunatic, man. That guy, look straight up. Okay, we got 46. Like, nobody's fucking here anyway. Like, real fast. Like, for those of you that may or may not know, I can't imagine you don't. But like him and I, one, I respect him for years. Two, we worked together a ton. Then he like totally takes his ball, goes home, leave me to deal with a PR disaster nightmare. That guy doesn't answer my fucking phone calls last year. Doesn't answer me. Doesn't do anything. Like unfollows me, acts like I don't even exist. Then comes back this year and just starts talking shit left and right. And then now today, like tweeting that, like, hey, I'm not going to be live, but check out my buddy Brandon Cruz DFS at TrueDFS as he's going to cover. Like, bro, you got the fucking nuts to do that? Get the fuck out of here. So yeah, like if we want to talk like about these fucking late model races, like who gives a shit? Everybody here has ran a goddamn late model race. And are you guys watching the Cars Tour? Jesus Christ. It's literally Bubba Pollard fucking running away with the field. It's like him, three other guys ran away, and then eighth place is like fucking 2 seconds back. You know, I've watched Dale Jr. run enough of these bullshit late model races, and he's just fucking stuck, you know, half a straightaway, half a lap behind, running in ninth position. Like, I've been enough short tracks in person to see, wow, man, that guy has no fucking talent. But as he flies down the back straight, but man, his family got a lot of money. Oh, what's that? He made the big event at our local track. Shit, he sent fucking 82 people home. Oh man, guess he's good. Like, what the fuck is that about? Like, so, like Justin Carroll, these clowns, dude, these clowns can't even get through tech inspection. Now this was a bit ago. This was a little while ago, you know, a while back. But like these goobers, these goons, they can't even get through tech inspection, which is drastically different from when you're pushing the envelope. Like, you know, if you're not cheating, you're not trying. That's just how it is. I have never worked on a car that was legal. I have only worked on cars that never got caught. Like, that's just how it is. Like, if you're not cheating in racing, like, you're not even trying. Like, anybody who wants to argue that, like, oh, that's not fair, you shut up. You don't know anything. But like, this is wicked nuts. You're not even cheating. You are locked in the race. We know where Carroll's going to run. This guy is in the back half of the field, going to be racing side by side with Steven, and these guys cannot get through tech. Like, this is stuff being installed incorrectly. I'm not saying that's the main reason, but like at this point, who gives a shit about the setup? Let's just get everything measured to go through tech correctly, guys. Like, this is a joke. Like, what is Carroll doing here, man? Like, this whole truck series is a clown fest, a freaking clown show. That's nuts. That's wild. But happy to have you stopping by, AD. What else? Yeah, dumped. I mean, always fucking clown. Like Steven, like, okay, here. I mean, I gotta head off in the next couple minutes so Bobby can get ready to go. But like, let's unblur Steven. So yet again, last year finishes last. We have 34 cars in this race, guaranteed to finish better than where he did last year. So yet again, I talked shit about everybody. It's not just about Steven, but oh boy, oh man, oh my god, bro. Now, granted, to his credit, running practice, this guy was in like the third lane for every lap. Like, he's not even on the bottom. He's letting everybody by. But oh my mama, this is slow, man. Oh boy, my god, this is gonna be nuts, man. Realistic. What do I got Steven projected for? I gave him grand total of finishing. I got Steven, drum roll, please. I gave him 26 today. Gave Steven 26 points. You might be wondering, well, that's a pretty good day. Why don't you like it? That is 20 DraftKings points, my guy. 20. Actually, that is 27. My bad. 26 is 22 points. So, yeah, truly a fucking marvelous DFS play here. I don't see anybody betting him to win this year. Kind of weird. It Dude, this guy's a fucking clown, man. I cannot wait till I can print his mom's tweet out and just hang it up. Like whenever I bring chicks home to my apartment, I'm not even gonna show off anything back here. I'm gonna leave this room completely closed. The only thing I gotta do is, dude, check out this tweet. I had this guy's mom tweet at me. That's like gonna be the first thing people see when they enter the apartment. They come up the stairs, that greets them right on the wall. I hope he crashes, man. Please, God, somebody just destroy this car, man. These Reum brothers. Lawless Allen, same thing. Move him out of the way. Like Cade, like Pierce talking about Caden. There's a reason we call him Caden Honeyfuck on iRacing. There's a reason we all shit talk Raja Karuth on iRacing because these guys race like fucking dickwads, man. Like, does that mean, we can't play him? Like, no, of course. Like, Raja's always in play. Like, he can actually drive. The guy's a piece of shit, but like, yeah, he can drive. Like, Caden's gonna put on a show. Like, it's so wild. Like, this entire field is filled with idiots. What else is going on? No, I got everything fixed, Kyle, because I know what to do. And it was like on a Monday, so I was able to get everything fixed on the truck. That's how I spent my Monday last week. Deltonator was fine. I just had a what is it? Not a circuit, not a breaker. I forgot what they're called right now. Fuse? Question mark? Maybe. I had a fuse just drain the battery. Took it out. Working perfectly fine. Thank you, Mayo. Glad you like it. Like letting them buy like you and I race. Yeah, but yeah, have you watched me? We're gonna do it again Sunday after the Winstall race. We're gonna go back into the meme session of NIS. The whole reason why I streamed those last night is because are you watching those races? We have races with like 27 yellows on the iRacing official, and I missed top split. I was very disappointed. Like, we had a lot of we had Malik Ray, we had Casey Kerwin in top split, and they're just as bad. Like everybody on iRacing is just horrible. Like it's incredible. That's the main reason why I've been streaming those meme events and stuff. I think past that, I think I'm gonna let you guys go. We got an hour and 30 minutes until the slate locks. As I said, if you guys are playing MLB and NBA, Bobby will be on live on this channel, just on a separate stream in around 4 minutes. So I'm going to let you guys go, and you guys can have a pretty good Friday. I will see you guys later, alligators. See you then.